Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Do you read me? And do you hear the music in the background? Yeah, I don't know what song is. Clear on both. Random Ladybird, thank you very much. Donari, I hear you very well. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Caillou, how you doing? Thank you for the confirmation on the audio. I will be right back. I'm gonna go fill my water. You said my audio is echoey? Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Welcome to the bi-weekly Dam Challenge stream, where our community of map makers can flex their cartographer creativity against each other and show off their creative prowess. The last 2 weeks, submissions have been coming in. There was 13 entries, which is astounding. The theme was 1 hour or less. So essentially you were given 1 hour or less to build a map, and that was it. You could build anything you wanted as long as it was 1 hour or less. I just want to welcome you all. And I just want to say before we get started that if you have any questions related to these maps or the Dam Challenge, or you have questions about Dungeon Alchemist, think of this stream as like an AMA format for Dungeon Alchemist related content. Maybe you have questions about our next update, or you're struggling with a concept for your build. Feel free to let me know in chat, and I will do my best to address it. If not myself, somebody else in chat may speak up and help, because we have a lot of very talented cartographers that love helping each other out. So I want to say welcome to Random Ladybird, Denari, Caillou, Robert, Gamroot, Paladin Lord, Mercurius, Rex, and Lind and Fraubier Frau for saying hello in chat. And I know we got a bunch of other people kind of lurking quietly. You're more than welcome to continue lurking. You don't have to say anything in chat if you don't want to, but you are more than welcome to join the discussion and get to know your fellow cartographers. Azael, welcome. Wisteria. Azael Wisteria. Isn't that like a type of a flower or like a tree or something? Hey, Geronimo, how you doing, buddy? Don't get in trouble at work. Don't get in trouble at work. You know what they call mapping while you're working? Murking, because you're going to get your job taken away. Yay! Oh, you're freelancer? That works out then. Awesome. Swifty Goth, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad the notifications worked for you. Wisteria is a flowering plant, so that's good to know. Why do I feel like I know that from something? Is it like an important flower from history or something? I don't know why. It's just something I feel like I've heard of recently. Ciao. Tisk tisk. Tisk tisk. Maybe. I didn't watch that show, so I don't know. I wouldn't even have made the connection. Oh, you're fine. I know. You gotta give me guff. So just for clarification, the next update, Magic, has been delayed indefinitely. And we tell you this out of absolute transparency because we want you to understand what's going on and why. Essentially, during our testing phase, which we were basically getting into testing and getting ready to wind up to launching Magic, I discovered a very large bug. And there was a limitation in the current build of Unity we're using. And essentially, that build of Unity was like from 2019. And many developers will usually pick a build and stick with it. They don't update their builds very regularly because it can change a lot of dependencies and things within your application. So we had to update because if we didn't, essentially we hit a wall, a ceiling, if so to speak, of how many textures and surfaces could be in Dungeon Alchemist. And this update would have surpassed the limit in that build of Unity. So we updated to a newer build. We've been migrating. It's been going really well. So essentially, from my understanding, they've been migrating over and then updating various aspects within DA that were like independent things that were made from scratch. So the migration is going pretty smoothly. Hasn't had any major roadblocks from what I've been told. And just like yesterday, day before, no, yesterday, I was given access back to my dev build, like a beta build through Steam, and it works really well. So just to give you some ideas, so previously my build was so scuffed, and I just thought it was just like alpha build, you know, because I'd never had a build this early in development. And it was missing hundreds of thousands of objects and textures of objects. So like a surface of a box would be missing, or an entire tree would be missing. And I reported it, and they just thought it was something generic that would be worked out through, you know, updating, and it was just probably my alpha build. Turns out it was a very big bug. And essentially now that's not a problem. None of those objects that were a problem are a problem anymore. They look great, they work. And there was another kind of patch put into this update that was given to me that it revolves around Steam Workshop. So Steam Workshop, there's been numerous complaints coming in around a couple things. Two main complaints. One of them is if you have too many assets from Steam Workshop in your collection, that DA starts to run very slowly. It loads slowly. Runs poorly, won't load at all. Depending on how much RAM you have, it may not even load. So the solution we've been telling everyone for the time being is just simply only subscribe to assets as you need them, unsub afterwards, and keep a limited collection that way. And because, you know, the assets from the workshop vary in quality, in size, in like how much, like there's some of them that are 300-400 megabytes. There's some that are like a half a megabyte. So the bigger the file, the more demand it is on that load when DA runs. So with that in mind, this patch fixed that from my understanding. And it was going to address that as well as an issue where if you upload tons of assets, your DA also runs really slow. So after you've uploaded like 100, 200 assets, there's only a couple of people like that on the workshop so far, like 3 or 4. They are running into an issue where it takes 10 plus minutes to upload an asset that's like 5 megabytes. Makes no sense. And their DA takes forever to load. So they're kind of being negatively impacted for sharing with the community, which in turn is kind of ruining their experience with DA, and all they're doing is being good guys. Like sharing with you guys and uploading models that they're creating like crazy mad quick, and it's actually negatively impacting their experience with DA as a result. Every model they upload slows down their DA experience. So the root of that has been fixed, and okay, so just to give you an idea what I've been getting at with this whole point here. Yesterday, I subscribed to 1,200 assets, and my DA would load from the time I clicked on the desktop icon to the time the map was on in front of me, and this was a 100 by 100 map, was 40 seconds. 40 seconds. I had a stopwatch on. That was impressive. With 1,200 assets, okay, that's roughly 1/3 of the assets available on Steam Workshop right now. Hey, Arrow of Eden, glad to hear it. Welcome, welcome. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. So sorry, I kind of went crazy there with explaining that, but at the moment, we don't have an ETA on the update because we're currently essentially migrating from a 2019 version of Unity to a 2022 version. We picked a version that won't put us in that new licensing agreement where they're going to take a chunk of everything for every sale or whatever. And so we went into an older build that won't affect that, or affect you, or affect anyone. You know what I mean? But at the moment, there is no ETA. It's just kind of up in the air. The lead dev, Carl, is kind of keeping me apprised, and he says he still doesn't know exactly when. But now that I have a build that works, expect some teaser content very soon. That was part of the problem why I wasn't posting any. My build was awful. I tried to shoot anything and about everything was broken. It was easier to find assets that were broken than weren't broken. It'd probably be easier to report the ones that were broken. I mean, weren't broken because there were so few. Yep. So it was due sometime at the end of this month, but unfortunately, we just have to put a significant delay as this Unity migration or update will take a lot of time. And we announced it publicly across all our social channels. We've been saying it constantly on the streams and everywhere because we want to keep you informed and aware of this choice and why. You can do that, Era of Eden. So, really quickly, I'll show you in just a moment how to do that, but one moment, okay? So just really quickly, this map in front of you is actually the winner of the dam challenge. Excuse me. The 1 hour dam challenge. Yes, I'll show you in just a moment, Era. So the challenge was to make a map in 1 hour or less and submit it. Now, looking at this, it's very intricate, but they took a shortcut. This is one big object from the workshop. So that saves a ton of time. Essentially just a ridge with that on it, staircase down, little covered, type thing, the altar, and an adjacent little, cabin structures, little temple here, shrine. It is beautiful set in the snow. It looks amazing. I think it's a great map, and it was, considering how beautiful it looks and intricate it looks, it's impressive. But I think the big thing is shortcutting with this one object instead of building this by hand saved a ton of time. Because most of it was essentially just generating the map, putting up a few objects, generating a few things, and laying out this path. Which I could see this easily taking, probably 30 to 45 minutes for the whole build. Now, this was made by... Sorry, I have their info pulled up here. It was made by Kai TM. I'm going to grab this link. I'll try and share it in a few places. Just bear with me as I post that, okay? For anyone here on Steam, if you're interested, I'm going to post that. YouTube. Gosh, I'm signed into the wrong account. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Stand by. Okay. It really is beautiful, right? And I could see some epic, sword fight happening here, something in the snow. The only thing it's missing, in my opinion, is one of those really cool, bamboo fountains that, fill up with water, and then when it gets full enough, it goes clunk, and then it drips out. Could you imagine, maybe a spring, a hot water spring with one of those nearby? And it's just clunk. I know you can't do that in DA, but I just think that'd be really cool. It is a beautiful map, for sure. And that's the reason I picked this as the winner, is because I feel like they packed a lot of punch in this. And very cleverly did so. Let's drop this in Steam. We already did it there. Now we just need to do it on the Twitch. By the way, as far as I'm aware, I do not have a mod today. Oh wait, Osmodius, are you lurking or are you present at the moment, my man? Because Seisu is too busy watching Eurovision, he said. He will be So, I'm flying solo today. All right, getting back into this. I want to take a closer look at the map, so I'm going to drop a token in it, and we'll walk around. Texas. No, my heart! Ugh. You're hitting me where it hurts, Seisu. I mean, Sack. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you Seisu. Oh, hey, that was quick. Well, thank you. I do like the path. The lanterns match the environment really well. Just seems like a, you know, like what do they call them? Pagoda lantern or something? The aesthetic of the environment is really well done. Wow. Little bath. Sushi bar. Tea, and looks like, I can only assume is sake. Because that gourd looks kind of like the traditional. This is cool. They did a really good job of nailing this aesthetic. And I mean, a lot of people ask for like for similar aesthetics to this in DA. And I think, you know, now with the combination of Steam Workshop assets and, you know, the stock environments, it's very possible. The night sky is really fitting here. So, raise of hands, which platform are you watching from right now? So I know we've got some YouTube and we've got some Twitch. I'm curious, do we have any Facebook or? So raise of hands if you're on Twitch. Let's see you real quick. And if you're on, hey Dag, welcome. Did you just pop in? Caillou, I'm not sure. I'll have to check. We'll have to peek. Oh, that's a flat barrier. I can't get through it. I have to go around. The oldie fashioned. Hitting something. It might be the bottom of that. I might be clipping. This is one big square, probably, object, so I'm, like, running into it. Okay. How about YouTube? We got any YouTubers watching at the moment? Sandora, representing across the platforms here. That's cool, Dag. You should record that or stream it. Post it on TikTok. Or anywhere for that matter. If you're interested in learning how, I'll let you know. Well, thank you, Wisteria. Appreciate the support. But yeah, this is really pretty. So I just want to say that the creator of this map did a great job. Kai TM, I believe is their name. Kai TM, if you're present, I'd love to know. But I know they're on our Discord. I know that they are on Steam. I can get in touch with them and, you know, let them claim their prize, which of course is a $10 Hero Forge gift card, which will allow you to get at least one digital token, or depending on sales, maybe 2. So that's a really cool kind of deal that we do with the Dam Challenge. Is not only is your map featured promptly first on the stream, but you also get a little, the bragging rights and whatnot, but also the $10 Hero Forge gift card. Lastly, your map is featured on our social networks at some point, and what I think is really cool is I built a map that is a living essentially a living, growing map that features the galleries of winners, past winners from Dam Challenges. So there's like 47 maps in it. This will be 48. Really excited to add 48. So my dad had a massive cabinet shop and had a lathe in it. I can't remember what brand it was. It was years and years ago, though. It was big and I think green. Anyway, I then years later bought a rigid lathe at a yard sale that was like all rusted and cleaned it up and got it working. And I did a little bit of turning, made some bats, and like I tried to do like table legs and stuff, mostly just practiced and messed around. I was never that good myself. Mad respect for you if you're any good at that stuff. It takes a lot of work. This is really pretty over here. Oh, there's candles. Cool. Cute. That's so cute. I love it. Really, Random Ladybird? That's awesome. Sometimes watch this Irish woodworker on TikTok who does like old school techniques of woodworking, like all hand techniques. It's pretty chill. Can't remember his name. He just pops up on my feed once in a while. Hey, see you later, Dag. Stay safe, brother. So, impressions of this map, everyone. What are your thoughts on it? Yeah, and a top down, this is perfect for combat. Let's throw a grid on there. Pretty big. Dang, this is a massive map. It's like 100 by 100 if I remember correctly. I'm going to go into the grid. We're going to change it to blue so it contrasts a little bit better and isn't so harsh on it. I mean, if you see that, this map is huge, so that scales the temple quite large. I don't know. I think most of this was relatively easy. The main thing that would have taken the most time is building like a structure like this, and that's just one piece. That's one piece. 3 pieces, making the path, generating 2 buildings. I think it could have easily been done in an hour. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. That being said, though, Geronimo, I know you are cursed to be a little bit detail-oriented. You really love to dig into your maps and give them the extra effort, like 250%, my friend. Well, we never said they couldn't do that. In fact, I said planning was allowed to be preemptive. So writing down ideas for your map, drawing out a map by hand, downloading assets preemptively, that is completely fine. I said once you hit new map and start for the build, that's when the timer starts. But yeah, you could generate this environment. It would have been all trees. The brushes would have done the most of it. Oh no, I'm just I have all sorts of faith that this was done in an hour. Is all I'm saying. Nice, Robert. Really cool map though. I really love the snow, that like how it actually goes on top of like third party assets like this. Oh, I gotcha, Geronimo. Sorry, I misunderstood you. No worries, my friend. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to turn off the snow, and then we're going to show our friend how to trace. Era of Eden, you still interested in learning that? So, really quickly, everyone, if you want to add a snow layer or remove the snow layer, even in the snow biome, okay, there's two layers of snow. There's the ground level and then a powder level that goes on like top of the trees and on top of objects. So you could just turn off no and turn snow to no weather. It changed to rain. Now the same environment had a recent snow, but it's not like as recent as the last one. The other one was like a fresh snow. You know what I mean? I really appreciate everyone using the honor system and being chill. That's the good way to do it, and I appreciate our community, you know, putting their best foot forward. Means a lot to me, because I know, like, essentially everyone was encouraged to just use the honor system, which I know, you know, some people like using every advantage they can, so they may have spent more time. I don't want to doubt anyone in our community, though. Ultimately, I looked at all the builds pretty closely, and I would say every one of them could have been done in an hour or less, especially just with a little pre-planning. Ah, Paladin Lord is doing it in survival mode. I like that. Oh my gosh. That's great. That's how you do it. Hey Jack, how you doing, bud? Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Every time I see you saying howdy, that's what I think of. I'm the same way, to be honest. I love getting diving into DA and building maps. And okay, so like when I was younger, I played Sims when it first came out. Loved it. I loved Age of Empires map making mode more than I loved playing Age of Empires. I love building the maps. And so I actually had an affinity for map making at a young age. I actually, in class, one time we were encouraged to draw a map, and then I just fell into it and started drawing them constantly. Another time, we were encouraged to draw like what would be the inside of a pyramid, and then I took it a step further and started drawing dungeon battle maps by accident before I'd ever played D&D. So I've always loved making maps and putting detail into them. It's very relaxing. It is a fun, cathartic activity to build something and see the beauty and completion of it. Um, I have mad respect for y'all that put a lot of time and effort into your builds. To you know, go the extra mile. Cardo cathartic. Cathartic. Probably a good idea to kind of know when to call it quits too. Waking up late, hey, at least you slept in, my friend. Or you up late though, is the real thing. Okay, so I gotta say again, congratulations to the creator of this map, Kai TM. I shared the link earlier. I'm gonna just share it one more time for those in back that might have missed it the first time. Oh yeah. Okay. So thank you again for everyone checking out this map. I am going to flip to another map. Got a lot of entries to cover today, so why not start at the beginning? Gore Vidal, are you here, my friend? Silently watching. Sack has actually started melding in to Dungeon Alchemist. He's become like part Dungeon Alchemist, part, you know, just map maker. He's essentially like weaved into the fabric of it. Carto Cyborg. Eats, sleeps, and maps. This is cool. This little grotto or like a little cave. Brief respite. Or respite, right? Isn't that how it's pronounced? Let's pull up the description here. The party has decided to take a bit of rest before crossing the bridge into the unknown. They had checked the graveyard but found nothing of interest. The undead have decided to wait until the party has started to rest before attacking them to prevent them from going further along the cave system. Beautiful little map. As you can see, the party is here, resting. And yeah, it was a mistake to not put heavy rocks on top of the graves. Got a little tent over here. Looks like Wim is peddling his wares. This is Wim, by the way. Sir Wim the Hare. Wim's over here. He's like, "What are you selling?" That's a deep meme that I only think maybe one or two people will get. This is very scenic, though. Are you streaming on Patreon now, or are you streaming on Twitch for your Patreon? I didn't know Patreon had streaming. Let's take a look at the top down here. Wim is the creator of Dungeon Alchemist. It was birthed from his mind, right? And then he paired with Carl, who was our lead developer, and, you know, they're 50-50 partners in DA. Essentially, they worked together at another development company on a different game, and they decided to take their skills and try to make something else. They both enjoy Pathfinder a lot. They're not neither of them are much of D&D players. They do enjoy D&D, but they're more Pathfinder players. And they wanted a simple map making solution that was quick, easy, and beautiful. And that's when they started making this. And yeah, Wim is our visual lead, essentially. He does a lot of the art for, like, you know, all the plants and, you know, the textures, and he's an incredibly talented graphic artist and visual artist. Oh, go live, not live stream, but like live as in available. Gotcha. Like a drop. Gotcha. Hey, sometimes the time crunch is the determining factor in doing things. I was gonna start a procrastinators club, but I never got around to it. Bro, you need to keep streaming. You've already got really good support from our community almost every time you go live. In addition to that, like if you took that and just consistently streamed maybe 1 to 2 times a week and built off of it, I could see you growing really steadily. There's actually a group of people who consistently stream Dungeon Alchemist. That combined with D&D stuff or Pathfinder or whatever, and I've watched many streamers go from just brand new, just little streamlets just getting started, and they are now like, getting up into the hundreds of thousands of, like, up to, their first 1,000 followers, some more than that. I'm just really proud watching, streamers grow, content creators in general. I've watched you also with your Patreon grow, and I've just been really impressed with you sticking with it all this time. And, like, continually, just building that, like, snowball up, so to speak. I'm really proud of you, man. In fact, there's so many of you I'm so proud of. It takes a lot of courage to post your maps out there, share them with the world. On the workshop or on social networking, or to make a Patreon or to start a stream or a YouTube channel. It takes a lot of, just to take that first step, it takes a lot of courage, and to put yourself out there it's not always fun sometimes. Sometimes people can be really critical or overly rude online. And just know, I support you all fully in your content creation, whatever avenue it may be. And, if you ever need advice or guidance, let me know. I'm not like the master, amazing, multi-million-dollar contract streamer, but I've been doing it for over a decade. I've been twice partnered on 2 different platforms, and I've made a career out of it, as you can see. And so I definitely love helping content creators when and where I can. If it's not, just helping you with stream settings or guidance and helping you gain more viewers or building your social network presence or whatever. He just needs a kick in the pants. Damn kick in the pants. Just gonna message him every day till he starts streaming. Swifty, I was actually really glad I caught your stream when I did. This last couple of weeks has been really hard for me to catch streams. Cat climbed in your lap. You've been chosen, Robert. What's your cat's name, brother? Well, Gore, thank you for sharing this map. I really love the setting of it. I like how the party let their guard down, and as you can see, that could be their last mistake. Oh, I'm hardly a celebrity. I do love, though, how our community gets so hyped when we pop into the stream. Like, I run the Dungeon Alchemist Twitch account, like, exclusively, so if it's someone coming into your stream with that name, unless it's like a weird variation of it, someone trying to imitate us, then it's me. And I love, trying to look for streams with Dungeon Alchemist maps, and I'm really good at spotting them and popping in, and my go-to quote is, "Nice map." I just like saying that and seeing reactions. I don't have a problem with it per se. I can ask Wim just to make sure if you'd like to verify. But typically, like, I would imagine anything that's in our, like, press kit is probably fine to use. As long as it's not like. I know that, the emojis with your affiliation are technically kind of monetization. But really, I mean, most people are just supporting you with a sub because they want to support you, not to get the emojis, if I'm not mistaken. That's the main reason. Maybe some people do it just for the emojis. If you want to use the Alembic icon, I don't see a problem with it personally, but I need to talk to Wim to verify. So, uh, Rauskovica. Actually, there really isn't much news other than the migration is going pretty well, albeit it's still ongoing. There still is no ETA as to when it'll be done or what all is left and how much time it'll take. I do know, though, that they are making strides. For instance, my dev build got an update just like yesterday and is running a lot better. I am already very much like impressed with what I see, and it's like night and day difference from the previous build I had, which was the one where I discovered the bug. So I am ultimately thinking that yes, we are on the right track and things are going well. I'd say, I can't really give an estimate of time though as to when we're going to be doing anything. I'm essentially following the dev's lead in this right now. On the safe side for right now, let's just leave it, put a pin in it, Swifty, and then I'll reach out to Wim, ping him, ask him, and if you want to just DM me on Discord, then I'll let you know at some point once he gets back to me. I will just say this though, it's like 10 p.m. where he lives, so even if I reached out to him right now, I probably wouldn't hear back until Monday because it's the weekend and it's night. So it would have to wait a couple of days. Speaking of a celebrity visit, Swifty, you mentioned that. A real celebrity is going to be visiting a little bit later today, hopefully. You all know him as Seymour. Seymour Butts. No, I'm just kidding. Seymour will be popping in a little bit later. I mean, Rausku, Vika, it's possible to make multi-layered buildings by hand. You gotta put in the groundwork yourself and lay in like structural objects and stack them and whatnot. I've definitely seen multi-level like structures, 3, 4 floor structures, but AI support multi-level is a while out. It's at least 2 or 3 updates away, like multi-floors within a single structure. Um, we are working on it. It is something we plan to do. How it'll be addressed remains to be fully realized and seen. The other thing to take into account is that this next update will actually include the option to raise a structure up and down before you generate it. It'll still be a single floor, but you'll be able to have buildings at separate heights within the same map generated by AI. So that's good. And you'll be able to generate round structures, diagonal structures, all sorts of weird shapes. I do have... Let me see if I can find an image of Puppy. I do have a Seymour for scale map image. So this is a map mat that I got that I from Kraken. Sack built this map for me, and I ordered it through Kraken War Games. I'm waiting on a set of dice, and I'm going to shoot some video and pictures with this thing and show it on our social networking. But as you can see here, I mean, he's pretty big puppy. When I'm holding him, he like takes up my whole arms. But this map is massive. But yeah, Pup's cute. He's a good boy. I feel like I've got other pictures of him somewhere. Oh, here's another one. This one's really handsome of him out on a walk. But I don't really like spending tons of time showing off Puppy on stream, you know. He is pretty cute, though. Not gonna lie. Okay, we got Highland Lass's map here. Thank you, Gore Vidal, for sharing your map. Let's move on to another one. We're gonna have to make some rapid time to get through a lot of these maps today. So probably 5 to 10 minutes per map for the remainder of them. Highland Lass always loves to pack a punch in a small map. That's what I love about her build. This chapel is not only like abandoned and overgrown, but it's just beautiful in the arrangement and the setting. I really like the glass, the stained glass here. Honestly, yeah, he does look like a big bad on the map, right? I love that I don't have to ask this week, hey, how long did this map take you? 1 hour or less. That's the answer, Mac. You know, in most cases with Highland Lass, that is usually what she does. Let's ask her if she's around. She may not be here. She was here earlier, but I don't think she's here now. Let me check the listing of this map and see what she said. The forest has encroached upon the chapel over the years. Nature is taking it over, yet the stonework mainly remains firm. That was a tongue twister. It is currently being used as a place of refuge by some villagers who managed to escape one night from the hamlet, which was occupied by a small invading force from the north. This map was inspired by images of yew trees framing the door of the St. Edward's Church in Stow-on-the-Wold, and was created both for the Dam Challenge and an upcoming D&D map. So yes, it is based on a real site. Oh my goodness. Give me this. Oh, we got it. The handsome boy. They're the handsome boy. Or your ears cold. He just got a bath. Mom just gave him a bath in the sink. He doesn't seem with them. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it gets a little chill. He's got a little heat pack. So, Mrs. Mac, she makes these really cool things, crafts called rice bags, and it's just like a towel that she sews into a pouch, and inside she puts rice, usually jasmine rice, and then we heat it in the microwave for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then it stays warm for like 30 minutes, but it's like a natural heat pack that's reusable. And, you know, not so like full of chemicals or anything. It's pretty cool though. Anyway, I got a link. One-handed streaming. He actually really enjoys baths other than being cold. But I think what the thing is we kind of got him into it really early when we got him. The key when you get a dog is to get them to like the bath early on, encourage the behavior, make them super happy while you're doing it, and be like, oh, yeah, it's so fun. Give him treats and reassure him and stuff because, like, honestly, like, that's what we did, and within a few weeks, he just was excited for bath time. Anytime the sink's running, he's, like, thinking he's going to be going in for one. Yeah. Really good about it. Our cat, on the other hand, we didn't build up the habit, and he does not like it. Yeah, he got in trouble with the groomer. That poor lady's face. I'm just kidding. It wasn't
No, it's
that
her
bad.
whole arm though.
Yeah, it was bad.
I felt.
Dropping some links in chat for y'all. Sorry if it kind of puts it across the stream feed a couple of times, but I had to show it everywhere for anyone who wants to see it. This is a beautiful map. And honestly, I really love how, yet again, it's based on a historical site, which is one thing that Highland Lass really loves to do. She lives in an area rich with history, and she's able to visit these sites regularly, and she also, works in education, so it's a passion of hers, essentially. But yeah, I really always enjoy her maps. Yeah, the ambience of her maps mixed with the historical significance of them is really something that's not to be underestimated. Very, very powerful, the imagery of it, and overall the maps just always have a good aesthetic. Good warm feel. There is those vacuum like hair cutters. We have one. Kind of like from like Wayne's World, the Sup
Yeah.
Cut. But it's like a modern version for cutting your your dog's hair. It's like a grooming tool. And we use it on him for like cutting his hair and his nails. He loves it. Our cat gets sketched out the second he hears it. So the cat, we have to like trim him by hand, which is hard because he'll get like little like dreadlocks in his fur. He's got a huge mane, a Maine Coon, and so he's just got tons of fur. Oh, you got scratched up, Watchtower? No! No! I know that feel all too well. Anyway. You want to take this, boy? Horse ma'am. Horse ma'am. Oh. Yep. Thank you for bringing him in. See you later, babe. My only minor complaint is none of the stained glass is broken. Even just leaving one of them out. Because that's like an abstract or an object from the workshop, if I'm not mistaken. Or is this just a window? I don't think we have stained glass windows. Am I crazy? That feels like another object. Yeah. There's like an abstract object in there, or like a 3D object in there. I believe that's an abstract item. Like a workshop item, is that what it is? Okay, let me just double check. There, yeah, you know what? You're right. I've seen them on there. Stained glass. Yep, here we go. Yep, so there's these stained glass panes on the workshop. If you search stained glass on the workshop, you'll find it, or just glass. And they work great for this because the light can pass through them, so it acts like real stained glass. As you can see, there is light behind it, the light pattern of the, like, flame. There are. I just found them. If you go to the workshop, they might have spelled stained wrong, but just type glass. Usually keeping your search term simple will go a long way in helping you out. So this one's spelled right, but this one here is spelled stained. But it could be that Norman Dye's first language isn't English, so... I don't like to judge, usually. Denari, I don't blame you. The workshop is cool, and there's so much resources there. Like, an army of, like, maps and assets at your disposal. Let's see here. 8,529 maps. 3,683 3D models, assets. That is insane amount. Ah, wow. Crazy. Okay. You know what? I totally forgot to show a tracing layer earlier. Oh, I got so caught up. Is that person still around? What was their name? Era of Eden? I feel so bad. Sometimes I get lost and forget what I was talking about. If I ever get sidetracked and I was supposed to show you all something or do something, please call me out. Sidetrack Max strikes again. Oof. All right. Map is beautiful, but we gotta move on. Because there's a lot of other cool ones. Oh yeah, there's no DA stock windows that offer it at the moment. But on the workshop, there definitely is. But if you're not using the workshop in tandem with your, your builds, or looking for maps on there for inspiration, or maybe as like a foundation for a map, or possibly a learning tool, you're definitely not getting the full value out of Dungeon Out. I highly recommend it. So, Robert, are you here still? You mean the one under masonry? It's like not a window, right? No, I know exactly where it is. Masonry. It says ornamental window. Yeah, it's just bricked up instead. Robert, are you still here, my friend? Robert 4818. This is your map. And I'm just taking a look at this and I'm wondering, was this generated from a donjon and then traced? Because if you did that, that's a brilliant time saver. So what they did is they mapped out hallway systems, right? With adjoining rooms every once in a while. Room here, cells, room here, etc. And then they actually did this in the cave biome. And around the edges here, they just took the terrain tool and did the raised cave area. Not even that one, actually. They just did flatten to the top. Wow. It's impressive. So it's all flattened to this room height here. Which you can make this brush bigger and stronger so it does it quickly. You can bring those edges right up to the edge of the wall here, so it looks a little bit cleaner. But that doesn't take long at all, like, a minute or two for the whole map. Robert, did you generate this on Donjon and then trace it, or did you make this from scratch? A what about trace? Is that what it is? I'm not familiar with that. But still, tracing it is smart. As it saves you time, you already got a layout picked, which is probably some of the hardest, time like to use, because usually trying to decide your layout, you'll end up wasting most of your time. So our friend here imported an image into the tracing layer and then traced it all out. So did the trace match up really good, or did you have to do a lot of work to get it to line up? Yeah, I noticed this here was definitely hand done instead of like the sharp, edges here. Itch.io. Yeah. I'm aware of itch.io. I I used to get tons of games there to stream when I was like an independent streamer because it was hard to buy new games all the time or to get the attention of AAA developers all the time. Exhausting, in fact. So I would do a lot of indie games from there. Just had to count what? Hmm. So you use the one-page dungeon generator? Is that what it is? Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I've never seen this before. Ever. Maybe I feel like I've been told about it, but I just never checked it out. There's so many different tools out there, you know? Very cool. All right. This is neat. I like it. So it's just a generator, though. You don't have much control over it than maybe a few settings, I'm assuming. Honestly, I imagine soon the town generator, you'll be able to use like the city or town generator and then use it in tandem with Dungeon Alchemist to actually make the town. Mainly because, you'll be able to do all sorts of shapes, sizes, and be able to rotate buildings and whatnot. Just leave this on. That's really cool. I gotta leave that up. Take a look at it later. All right. I noticed we got some people watching on Steam. I just want to let you know if you have any questions. I am watching the Steam chat casually. If you need any support or guidance with your map making or have any questions related to the Dungeon Alchemist development, it's a good time to ask, as I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. This is an official stream. Great way to get information that you may be after. But as you can see here in this video, rotating the buildings is now something you can do before you generate it. You can move the building before you generate it. Keep in mind this is early alpha footage, so it's changed quite a bit since then and gotten much better. Being able to rotate buildings off of the grid into their own kind of perpendicular axes to this grid is going to help with town and city layouts a lot. Because currently you only have that control with objects, right? And if you free-handed roads and paths and stuff using the terrain tools. But now you'll be able to make diagonal paths, curvy, windy roads, buildings at all sorts of angles to each other. It'll be Well, welcome, Ricky. I appreciate you being here. So when you see this in action, the rounded walls, the angled walls, by the way, these aren't just exterior bump outs. You can have cut-ins that are round too. So this could be a rounded corner here, inward bites, like maybe like a literal bite out of the house. Anyway, it's going to be amazing the amount of change this will offer our community. Let's take another look at a different. This is a new biome that will be available in the next, or not a biome, a room type. And it is called extra dimensional space. So this is like a pocket dimension, essentially, where a wizard, a mage, whatever, warlock, whoever happens to have the pocket dimension, could have a little respite away from it all and store their precious volumes and whatnot. I've also been told that this biome here could actually be quite useful for this room type for like blueprints, because it looks like a blueprint in the top down. Also, I've been told it looks like Batman's detective vision from the Arkham series games from a few years ago. So, you know, it's all over the place in what it can be used as, potentially. Got quite a bit of breadth there, if you will. It does look like a blueprint, huh, Asmodeus? Oh, alrighty. Show you the curved rooms. These little rough, like, artifact edges here, these will be gone in the final build. Little, like, dark edges. That's just where the bending happens beneath. They've actually, if I'm not completely understanding it, it's been patched and should be all completely out of the final build. In fact, I don't think they'd release it like this. So just think of this as alpha. I'm really hoping soon I can at least get an idea of when I can start releasing like a date for the updates reveal, like the reveal streams. Hopefully sooner than later I'll get more information related to that. We'll be able to share it with you. Oh, alrighty. Asmodeus, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for sending me those 3D models earlier. Dude, I don't know if you heard on stream earlier, I was kind of talking about it. So, Watchtower, in my experience, you want to probably lay out the whole floor plan of a structure before you generate it. Especially if it's going to get really intricate and like lots of twists and turns and angles. That way it's all connected and generated as a single structure despite the intricacy of it. As you start separating structures, notice when earlier the two rooms were like one would kind of get red, like the collisions weren't allowing it. There's not going to be an easy way to connect the rooms to each other right off the bat that I'm aware of. And I would generate them as a bunch of rooms attached to each other as one structure. You can go into those rooms individually and then generate them as individual rooms once the structure's laid out. So regen that space as like, oh, this is the bedroom, this is the office, this is a hallway, here where all this curvy part is. But essentially you'll draw out the harder parts of the structure as a single structure, and then kind of, you know, you can go into a big structure and then take parts of it and make it different things. But honestly, from my experience at least, when you have several rooms adjacent to each other and start rotating them and trying to connect them with a hallway, it's not very simple. And I don't know if that's changed since I last played. With DA, my new build might be better. But overall, I'm gonna kind of say no. Look at this curved bookshelf back here. It's kind of hiding behind the bed. But there's like a couple of curved items, bookshelves, stairs that should be more conducive to rounded buildings. Oh my gosh, right? I imagine realistically display name, you just do one big square sheet and then fold it under, right? At the edges. So you just do like a little bit of like that, or like, you remember those old Taco Bell, like what was it, folded over case, like tortilla, and it was like little fans? That's what the bottom of that looks like. Hey, Swedish Cook, how are you, my friend? Okay, let's stop looking at teasers and get back to the maps. So that was really clever here, Robert, 4818, using a trace to speed things up. I'm sure that helped tremendously. This map has got a neat aesthetic to it. It's very dangerous feeling, dark. This altar here is evil. The blood pool up at the front definitely doesn't feel safe, and I think the whole time my party is in here, they'd feel like they're in constant danger. Be taking it easy. Anyway, I appreciate the work you did on this map, and I see there's a lower floor potentially you could add onto it, and they came from an upper area, maybe a crypt above on the, on the surface, where it could have been another level of the dungeon, kind of like Diablo style. Crunchwrap Supreme Bed, yes, display name, that's what it was. Man, it's been so long since I've eaten Taco Bell, I forgot what the name of it was. Okay, let's see here. Let's open up a new map. We're gonna open up a new map. Okay, Palace Chronosarium, or the Palace of the Timekeepers, a place existing in the folds of time where beings who observe the flow of past and future dwell. Cool! This was made by Watchtower. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. Little floating things. Do you know what would go really good on this map? Just saying, because it's like the Time Weaver, right? This ethereal loom, which will be in the next update. So it's got like this loom. Lord Dito, I'm not making anything right now. I'm actually just looking at maps from the damn challenge. What's the lies? What's the lies? Honestly, I like the floating, like, rooms here. Little gazebos or little... It's fun. It's a neat addition. Ooh. Assuming they're hiding here. There it is. You can see this my first pass. See this little projector right here? Got that image projecting there. It was hidden in the timepiece. Great. It does just seem like a weird kind of space where time itself is kind of wonky. Yep, so these maps I'm showing right now are maps from the Dam Challenge, which is an ongoing map-making challenge we host on our Discord and across our various stream platforms, like here on Twitch and, YouTube, etc. Everyone is encouraged to enter, by the way, and if you enter and you win, you get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. Your map is the first map featured on the Damn Challenge stream, usually about a half hour of FaceTime with the community. Your map is shared in our Cartomancer Chronicles that week. And lastly, we share your map across our social platforms at some point. So, these these maps are kind of people rolling up their sleeves and really bringing their A game. Now, the particular theme was 1 hour or less, so people had to make a map in an hour or less. So Dito, the challenge here was making anything you wanted in 1 hour or less, and I think a lot of people really got creative. I allowed exceptions to kind of like hand draw a map or kind of like draw, like write down notes and come up with ideas before you started. Maybe download assets from the workshop before you started. But from the time you hit new map, generated it, and started a map until it was finished, you had 1 hour. Magic Gondola. I like it. Really good use of the Fata Morgana assets and theme too. Really like it. It kind of feeds into the like Sands of Time with Prince of Persia a little bit, which is an amazing, game and franchise in general. Not sure if that's what you were going for, but it definitely feels like that. Let's take a look at the top down here. Not very easy to see the verticality difference between these, but despite that, the map still looks very beautiful in the top down. Unfortunately, Dungeon Alchemist will never offer 3D exports that would be allowed for like 3D printing or engine export or to be used in like a 3D VTT. Dungeon Alchemist just wasn't designed for that. Now, while it is 3D an environment for building your maps and you can get a 3D immersive export, kind of like this where the walls are visible, that's the most 3D you'll get, is in the building and then that kind of stretched, fisheye immersive 3D export. The majority of assets in Dungeon Alchemist are smoke and mirrors. So, like, imagine really simple shapes with a beautiful texture, like a wallpaper on top. That's what the majority of our assets are. So, like, this is probably just like a really simple square with like a simple rectangle on the back. And then they slap these amazing textures on it and lighting. So it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and the reason we do that is it keeps the maps small, keeps them tiny, as long as you're using stock assets and not putting tons of images or assets from the workshop. I don't think we'll ever switch to Unreal. Honestly, I feel like the devs are kind of committed to Unity at this point. I mean, one would think if at this kind of juncture, switching would have been the prudent thing to do if they had planned to do it. You know what I mean? Where we had to update Unity, I think, obviously it still would have been way harder to just jump ship and go to a different platform, doing it all from scratch. I honestly highly doubt we'll ever switch to Unreal. Unless Unity kind of keeps messing up their, like, agreements and stuff. Love the tea room. Did you go with quick generation for a couple of these? I really like this back area with the timepiece on the top. Really ties it all together. The little garden. It really is a pop of color, too, in the environment. Like, the green just stands out. That being said, I don't think wrought iron would get patina like this in the desert. Maybe close to an oasis it might. Ah, that is really cool. I like it. That's smart. Clever. Let me guess, this map took you an hour? Yes, so Hero Forge, if you want to export a model you made on Hero Forge to another platform, they require you purchase the model. Now, you can make models for free on Hero Forge, but to export it to, say, a 3D VTT or to Dungeon Alchemist or to any VTT for that matter, you must purchase the model as a 3D digital model, not a 3D print model. Okay? They sell both types on their website. We actually have a video about Hero Forge linking your account and what types of models you would have to get to link it. Now, I will tell you this though, you don't need to be reliant on Hero Forge anymore to get 3D models into Dungeon Alchemist. Like almost a half a year ago, we incorporated the asset importer right here. So if you click this bad boy, you can import custom 3D models that you either source online, make yourself, or maybe you supported like a Patreon that makes 3D models, or you support like a Humble Bundle and it came with a bunch of 3D models. You can import them into Dungeon Alchemist using the asset importer, which is a step-by-step tool that allows you to set up, you know, basic settings for the model, import it into DA, and either use it locally only or share it on the workshop, which anyone else can then use it if you do so. Hero Forge models are no different, by the way. If you purchase the model as like a 3D model export for 3D printing, you could import that here. It just wouldn't have any of the color data. It would be like a plain gray token that you could adjust the same, like the color across it as a single skin. So just keeping in mind, you can also make tokens using tools like Blender, Procreate, Tinkercad is a free tool. Blender is a free tool. Lots of tools out there to help you get started on asset or token creation. Last but not least, we announced our partnership with a very talented pair of 3D artists called Bite the Bullet Studios. Excuse me. I'm getting hiccups. Bite the Bullet Studios is a company that we paired with that will be making tokens for each of our updates going forward that are themed to the update. So our next update is Magic. Expect Magic themed tokens, roughly 10 to 15 of them. So here we have like the Centaur Bard, which will have several different skins available that you could switch between. This Catfolk Wizard, which I'm not entirely sure isn't a Ratfolk Wizard with a cat familiar. A Dryad Druid. These will be free to anyone who owns Dungeon Alchemist. And every update will include a bunch more, and that collection will keep growing and growing and growing. Burn. Oh, sorry. You know, I haven't watched Critical Role really much. I did watch, that show they have. I don't even know the name of it. On Amazon. What is it? That's their cartoon. These are made by Bite the Bullet Studios, and these will be free to everyone in our next update, Dito. Yep, Vox Machina, that's the show. Sorry, I watched it once, I really enjoyed it, but I just never watched it again. I didn't commit it all to memory. Some shows, I'm a repeat watcher. I'll watch them over and over again, just leave them watching in the background. Other shows, I'll watch one and done. Yeah, Bite the Bullet Studios made all these tokens, and they'll be included in our next update for free, and every update coming forward until we leave early access will include free tokens from Bite the Bullet. I would like to point out, too, you don't have to import your own tokens either. You can find tokens on the workshop. Oh, by the way, everyone, I told Wim that we would prefer he be called the Alchemist. And he pulled up his notebook, he smiled, pulled up his notebook and wrote it down, which usually means he's going to change it and make it happen. So this most likely Yeah, the Bite the Bullet stuff is impressive. And they sell their tokens digitally. They sell tons of different tokens. They do commission. They have 3D prints online through My Mini Factory, so you can order any of their tokens as a print and get it shipped to you. So there's lots of ways to check out their stuff. But they're very, very talented. Bite the Bullet is, I don't think they have a token creator like Hero Forge. It is they make their own and sell them. They're artists that, commission their own. Lord Dito, I want to show you something, buddy. Go into Browse Assets in Dungeon Alchemist, right? And then if you click here where it says Tokens, it is a cool map, isn't it? I got a little sidetracked, but I'm just trying to show everyone this. In tokens, you have 3 categories. You have characters, monsters, and NPCs. These are all shared on the workshop already, okay? So just to give you an idea, there is 2 pages of character tokens, 4 pages of monster tokens, and 2 pages of NPC tokens. Some are animated, some are not, some are painted, some are not. But I mean, there's at least, 50 per page. So we had 2, 4, and 2, right? So 8 pages. So like quite a bit actually. And 400 tokens roughly. If you download any of them that are like a gray one like this, we got Jack the Giant Killer. Let's download this one really quick. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I'm going to place this token. When you grab a STL token with the gray, kind of just flat, kind of paint mini skin, if you click on it, there's options here to apply different colored skins to it. So you could do like condition markers, say that's poison or acid or maybe fire, or you could just make a color option to give the player a little bit more pop, or that particular token a little bit more pop. So if the token's a flat gray, you can apply any of these skins to it, or you can use any of the like tokens that have, pre-painted textures and not worry about it. So you have a whole bunch of tokens at your disposal if you kind of dig through that, and you might be able to make it work for what you have. Online, there's websites that have tokens available, many of which are free to use as long as you're using them for personal use only and not for resale. And if you share them, say, on the workshop, many of them are fine with that as long as they're properly credited through Creative Commons licensing. So look into that a little bit, but check out sites like Thingiverse or Sketchfab. These sites have tons of 3D models on them, many of which are free, but you just got to follow the conditions of the license to them. Okay, moving on to a new map. Watchtower, thank you for sharing this and letting us use your map as a backdrop for showing off tokens. Really enjoyed this. Thingiverse, I'll be honest with you, has a focus on 3D printing, so many of their models will lack any like paint detail. Whereas Sketchfab, on the other hand, a lot of their models are made to be like incorporated into, say, a video game or something of that nature, so they're already textured in a lot of cases. Sometimes it just takes a matter of loading it into Blender and accommodating it to DA and then importing it. Good to go. In fact, one of our community members, Night Vision, made a plugin for Blender that will quickly convert an asset to be functional in DA, or just sets it up to be functional in DA. I really love this map here. This was my runner-up winner. This map by Icebreaker. The symmetry of it is what really got me. The last map was Watchtowers, and it was called Damn challenge, 1 hour. It's in the Damn Challenge channel, too, if you want to check it out. As all of them are. Okay. Oh my goodness. One moment. I gotta check something. Okay. I just noticed that I have a package from Amazon that's a few stops away. I may have to go out and grab it. My neighborhood, porch piracy is rampant. So I'm going to have to just do a quick BRB. Oh, thank you, Asmodeus. Can you send me that link so I can pop it into our other platforms for anyone who might be interested? Just DM it to me on Discord. I really enjoy the setting of this, and I imagine, I loved Sonic growing up. Like, I really did enjoy it, and I got the remastered version a few years ago. So I had a Game Gear, and I really enjoyed playing Sonic on it. And my dad gave me that Game Gear after my parents got divorced, and then my dad ended up going to prison because he was like the ringleader of like a crazy group of thieves. Long story short, my mom suspected the Game Gear was stolen and made me give it to the police. So it's kind of a sore spot in my childhood, but it is what it is. You just learned Steam does these live streams, lol. User 314, well, welcome. We actually have only just started doing the streams on Steam for like the last few weeks. Up until recently, we were mainly only on Twitch, and then we expanded to multi-stream on all our platforms, Twitter, Facebook, etc. So welcome all Steam viewers. I appreciate you being here, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to leave the Steam chat up, so we can keep an eye on that. I'm going to drop a link. This link we were just talking about is a plugin for Blender that can adjust assets to make them more compatible with Dungeon Alchemist. Anyway, moving on. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, my name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. And so think of these streams like an AMA format while you're here. If you have any questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Well, thank you. So, with this map, it says that you come out of a portal and end up at this junction, which, could you imagine you take a portal somewhere, in another, like, room somewhere your party did, and they end up at this four-way portal junction deep in the heart of this jungle. I mean, that'd be kind of unsettling. Sonic maps would be tricky just mainly because of how they're like a side scroller, but I will say people in our community have done the top-down side scroller type aesthetic in maps. There's been a few of them done in the past. I can't remember what the name of the map offhand was, but if viewed in top-down only, they felt like a side scroller or like a Dungeon Descender type game. And I feel like that concept could be used for Sonic. There is another map that you need to look up on the workshop, Dito, called DK Mind Map. I'm going to just pull it up so you can see it. But that's a side-scrolling map that was made by one of our moderators, Seisu, and another contributor in our community named Kaode. And it's essentially a Donkey Kong map, which is another side-scrolling game. And it was designed to be, like, to attribute to that style and aesthetic of game. you may want to take a look at this and get an idea of what they did and maybe use it as a concept for your Sonic builds. I honestly probably could make an attempt at it, but at the moment I'm a little focused on building maps and content for our next update, so I can't really tackle a build of that scale on my own. I'll hurry and pull this up. We'll take a quick look. The reason I'm pulling up this map instead of another Dam Challenge entry is because this one actually won a Dam Challenge at one point. So, realistically, I'm not diverting off of that. But DK, yeah, Donkey Kong. So this is based on Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, which was essentially a rival competitive IP to Sonic on a competitive platform. But the whole map in top-down really is not meant for top-down. It's meant for... It is meant for a side-scrolling type event where you are... So imagine using this kind of styling to make a Sonic map, which essentially you could kind of, to a degree, make. I mean, the railing is reminiscent of Sonic. I mean, it's going to be tricky, though. You know what I mean? Heck, you could even use this map as a base for a Sonic map. Just kind of strip it of its Donkey Kong remnants and make it something else. You do see a lot of bananas floating. You are not crazy. Alrighty, let's get back to the Dam Challenge maps, because we got a lot of maps and not a lot of time. So, we did the forest ruins. We already looked at the Japanese castle. That was the winner. Let's keep going. For the last map, which one? The time map? The desert one? Is that the one you're asking about? Or the forest ruins one? You know, I'll just share both. So, here is the link for honestly, yeah, let me go back to it and do it some justice, because I only looked at it for like a minute before we jumped over another one. That one was the previous one in the desert, and then I'll show you this other one too. This one with the orb in the center, is this the one you're after? I have the links! Okay, there we go. There's both of the maps, so you can check the maps out. This map would be a great encounter map. I could imagine there being a guardian of the portals, you know, here in the center or something that, like, is the keeper of this area, and you have to either pass a test or do a quest or fight them to get past to any of these portals, and then they could also lead anywhere. Maybe you chase someone through this portal and then they went into one of these other ones. You don't know which one. Anyway, very cool map. I like the aesthetic in the jungle, using fog and fireflies, the various particle effects. Really brings the map to life. It is a beautiful map. They did a great job really nailing the aesthetic. So this here is just a floor without walls. So if you look here, they generated a room. If I'm not mistaken, that's what that is. Yep. Yeah, it's Abandoned Ruins Temple. So this is just walls like this, but they drew it, say, like this. Abandoned Ruins Temple. Under AI settings, they got rid of objects, walls, so no windows or doors, and then just drew it out like that. Actually, I don't draw that there. So it'd be something like this. Essentially just draws out like a flat platform like this, the stonework. And then they took the terrain tool to carve it, cut back around it, which is a really cool idea. I like it a lot. Denari, you can draw an alley so easily. In fact, I use the alley room to make roads all the time. Yep, so you could tell it no objects, no walls, etc. So you just generate that whole thing. Now remember also, if you do generate it with objects, you can always just use the object eraser, which is right here. So the object eraser, you set the size, and it can quickly erase like tons of stuff. Instead of singular objects by deleting them one at a time, you at least have a much speedier option. But yeah, let's say you want to just draw a road. You go to village, alley, and get rid of objects and walls. This is a great if you want to draw like a straight or like a nice structured road or like a town. Maybe you want to draw like a crossroad where two roads meet in an area. Just going to draw from one end to the other and then have a crossroad going like to the right. Forest. Map. So I'm going to just generate this. The alley type will always have a road kind of stone. You can just change the floor after if it's not what you wanted. Or you can regenerate it. Oh yeah, it saves you time. Now imagine using this drawing kind of a road, but with the new room shaping tools in the next update. What did I do? Did I break it? I might have extended it off the edge here, and so it's trying to draw the edge. We'll see. Anyway, so now we kind of have this stone road in the middle of the forest here that has an intersection. But I'll imagine, you know, we could round out the corners here in the update or make them angled so it would seem like they like had a nice little rounded edge. You could weave it like an S. It'll be very cool in the next update to use this tool. What I always do is I'll generate this. If I don't like the stonework, I can just hit regenerate. Or you select the room and then regenerate it. And it goes through a different cobble pretty much every time. This doesn't work for, well, technically, yeah, you could change it to a dirt road. Let me show you. If you wanted it still to be a nice dirt road. Let me show you. So we have a floor type in here that is natural, and there are dirt, stamped earth, kind of. So you could totally do like a stamped earth. So that is like, you know, this is structured dirt road that's maintained. Now, if you wanted windy dirt road, you'd go into the like terrain tool, select something like this. Maybe you have an offshoot road here that like a path. Get what I'm doing here? There are two different dirt types, so you can do a darker one if you prefer. You can kind of mix and match them. Lastly, there is a stone one that kind of feels like a paver path. This is great if you want it to feel like kind of a windy stone path or a random path. So those are kind of some combined options to build roads in DA. You can combine the two methods. Okay, back to maps. Right? I mean, the dirt in the cracks between the pavers would grow and fill. You could even put like mushrooms or grass, a little bit of it, like little plant life, if you want to make it feel kind of natural too. Take something like this and shrink it down and like turn off collisions, make it really tiny, and just have it like in these little cracks like that. Because plant life will spread and pop out of the little cracks and roads and paths that aren't used very often. A little detail. A weed or something. Yeah, it is. It is smart. Because to me, this looks much more natural, in my opinion. Heck, you could even put the grass layer underneath, and then it would look like the grass is grown in between the pavers, which ultimately would probably be much more natural. It's really a matter of preference, though. So if you take the grass layer first, start that as kind of your base layer, then take the paver over it. That also kind of looked like an overgrown path to a degree. But notice how the green layer fits through the cracks, because technically it's not painting there. That's essentially why. But some of the terrain paints are stronger than the others and tend to have more prescience and like take a priority. Anyway, those are a few different methods to kind of achieve essentially the same thing. Yeah, we need more brush options. I'm excited that the object brush will be getting some updates, including 2 new brush types. So, a line brush, so you can draw the objects in lines of singular lines, not just a scattering of objects in a line. And then a circle brush to draw the objects in a circle. And there'll be an advanced toggle, like a hamburger menu that expands and it gives you more options, like the randomness and the size. Okay, cool. My wife just told me the package showed up. So I'm going to load up this other map and then I'm going to hurry and go do that. I'm going to probably run an ad and then we'll be right back, okay? Gonna run a quick ad break, everyone. Bear with me while I run to grab that package off the porch.
Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making application that allows you to make amazing maps in just a few clicks. You can then easily print these maps and use them in your role-playing games. Or you can import them into your favorite VTT with walls and lights configured for you. Here's how it works. First, choose a terrain for your map. Then pick a theme. How about an old school crypt? Or maybe an abandoned mansion? Just start drawing rooms, and Dungeon Alchemist will place all the walls, floors, doors, objects, and lights for you. Each new room is generated on the fly and is completely unique. Yeah, we do all the grunt work. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making application that allows you to make amazing maps in just a few clicks. You can then easily print these maps and use them in your role-playing games. Or you can import them into your favorite VTT with walls and lights configured for you. Here's how it works. First, choose a terrain for your map. Then pick a theme. How about an old school crypt? Or maybe an abandoned mansion? Just start drawing rooms, and Dungeon Alchemist will place all the walls, floors, doors, objects, and lights for you. Each new room is generated on the fly and is completely unique. Yeah, we do all the grunt work for you, so you can focus on creating. Changed your mind? No problem. Swap out the theme of an entire room with a single click. Is it a garden? Nope, it's a hovel. And now it's a tent. Everything in Dungeon Alchemist can be adjusted. Release your interior decorator and go wild. Recolor potions. Mess with the light. Set the house ablaze. In Dungeon Alchemist, you are the artist. Bring in your own content and really personalize your world. Dungeon Alchemist comes with thousands of unique assets, each lovingly crafted to suit your adventuring needs. Create a glowing mushroom forest. Light up your abandoned temple, or stuff your room to the brim with pillows. Build an entire world in seconds and reshape reality to your heart's content. Once you're happy, bring your world to life and explore your map through your player's eyes. Come along with us and let Dungeon Alchemist upgrade your role-playing experience to the next level. Dungeon Alchemist cannot be held responsible for any bodily harm, injury, loss of limb or loved ones, poisoning, curses, level drain, elongated limbs or toenails, death or undeath your players may experience from their character's use of this product. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making application that allows you to make amazing maps in just a few clicks. You can then easily print these maps and use them in your role-playing games. Or you can import them into your favorite VTT, with walls and lights configured for you. Here's how it works. First, choose a terrain for your map. Then, pick a theme. How about an old school crypt? Or maybe an abandoned mansion? Just start drawing rooms, and Dungeon Alchemist will place all the walls, floors, doors, objects, and lights for you. Each new room is generated on the fly and is completely unique. Yeah, we do all the grunt work for you, so you can focus on creating. Changed your mind? No problem. Swap out the theme of an entire room with a single click. Is it a garden? Nope, it's a hovel. And now it's a tent. Everything in Dungeon Alchemist can be adjusted. Release your interior decorator and go wild. Recolor potions. Mess with the light. Set the house ablaze. In Dungeon Alchemist, you are the artist. Bring in your own content and...
Sorry for the delay. I hope the ad didn't loop more than twice. Over 3 times? I'm sorry. I ran the log ad thinking we were good. So the package wasn't on my porch, and I was freaking out. I thought it was stolen already. It's been like 3 minutes. And they actually put it on my side patio, like at the edge of my driveway by my garage door. So I was a little stressed. I had to find it. Give me a second. Anyway, it was, no, it wasn't stolen. We're good. I found it. I was worried it may be because it wasn't where it normally should be. So, like, I have a delivery preference for my house for Amazon packages, and I say, hey, it needs to go here at this specific spot. And the person didn't put it in that spot, so I was worried, so I looked in all the other places that it could be. The image, like, in the delivery thing was like a really tiny, small image just of, like, cement in the package, so it was hard to tell what it was. This is cool. We got a little cave system, right? With some cells and what looks like a chapel. So some kind of cult's chapel, I'm guessing. And then this is linked to some sort of temple or crypt, which it looks like they have to figure out how to get from here to there. This looks like the downstairs, and this is the adjacent room, which leads to it. So if you look at this map as two pieces, this is the upstairs, upper level, right? And then over here, you have the underground area where this staircase goes down into the crypt. I'm honestly explaining it all from this, from the visual perspective before I read it, is all. I just like that it's 2 layers. This one's really good. For those unfamiliar with Dungeons & Dragons, specifically the Forgotten Realms, which is a world setting for D&D, in this series of maps you will play as Sir William Brightheart, who is a paladin of the god Lathander. Paladins are holy warriors and are blessed with divine power by the god they worship. Paladins are also bound by an oath that is the tenets of their devotion. The god Sir William worships is called Lathander, also known as the Morning Lord, is a major god in the Forgotten Realms that presides over many things, most notably dawn, not the sun itself, and others like renewal, spring, youth, athletics, self-perfection, vitality, and creativity. In this campaign, a series of adventures with an overarching plot, you will go head to head against the forces of Myrkul, who is the god of the dead, decay, and exhaustion, a major antithesis to Lathander. With that, I hope you enjoy the first of the adventure of Sir William Brightheart. You are Sir William Brightheart, a noble paladin of Lathander. You arrive in a tavern in a small town with whispers of undead around every street corner, and people going missing daily. As a paladin of Lathander, you shall not stand for this affront to the Morning Lord. After investing around town, investigating, I'm assuming is what you were going for there. The barkeep informs you that the guards posted at the entrance to the cemetery have stopped coming by for drinks after their shift. As you pass the park to the entrance to the cemetery, you notice the foul stench of the undead about. How long does it go? Oh man, I'm committed. I'm committed. We're going for it. I didn't know it kept going, so by the time I got to it and scrolled, I laughed at myself because we're in for a ride. As you pass, foul stench of dead about them as you near. You are certain these guards are no longer among the living. With the divine light of Lathander, you smite the undead guards. As you make your way through the cemetery, you notice a mausoleum and go forth to investigate. Going down the stairs, you find the door into a cave system. As you near the door, you hear the guttural hissing and chirping of kobolds. After dispatching your next obstacle, you are shocked to find a fully grown mountain troll. It's a tough fight, but you manage to slay the troll. You happen upon some gnolls next that are guarding some kind of door. During the fight, you catch the name Zamos before you kill them all. After entering the room, the walls are lined with cages, chains, and torture devices, with a cultist of some foul god mopping up blood. You may be too late as there are no bodies left. After dispatching the cultists, you make your way to an old buried temple to the god of death, Myrkul. When you enter to see 3 freshly made skeletons and an evil necromancer who introduces himself as Zamos. It's too late, he says, indicating a malevolent-looking sword emanating a fell mist struck through the skull. After recalling a religious teaching from the temple, you recognize the ritual as one to summon a foul lich. You must put a stop to it before a master of undeath is summoned. It's a close call, but you manage to sanctify the temple and return victorious to the tavern for a stiff drink and a warm bed. So, Highland Lass, I really loved your map. Thank you for sharing. I wish you were here earlier when we were showing it. I gotta ask, how much of your hour was spent typing up the description? This is quite the story. I like it. You like got a whole one shot here. Impressive. Very cool. Moving on. Gonna check out a couple more maps. This one's small, but it packs a punch. Look at the structure work of this building. Portal platform. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. I'm gonna just open up the instruction or the information. A platform with a portal in the middle of the desert, powered by 4 nodes. Is that what it says? Very cool. Let's see if a token can walk up this. Let me in! It's cool. I like it. Oh, I'm not doubting you, Paladin Lord. It just seems like that was quite the story there, man. You put a lot of effort into it, and I appreciate it. There's like a whole short story with it. So much symmetry. Looks like it could be a map for a first-person shooter. Or a BioShock map. Got the vibe. I like it. Very cool. This is made by Tin Man, by the way. Let me grab a link for this if I could. Fact. The last 2. Okay, so that's the link for this map. And the last one. Lathander's. Boom. Those are the last 2 maps. I want to keep looking at this one, but I want to try and look at some other ones, so we're going to bounce to another one. We still have like 4 or 5 maps, and we're past the hour, so I'm going to try and rush these next few. Luckily, they're small. Ruined Amphitheater here. This is really pretty. Really enjoyed the look of this. This looks like an old outdoor amphitheater that's fallen apart to the test of time. Maybe an old civilization used to meet here and discuss politics or trade, or maybe ancient tribes used to meet here and discuss the next year and whatnot. Anyway, whatever happened, it's fallen to the test. I did notice we've got a fox. What looks like a quail, right? Pheasant. Pheasant, my bad. Workshop, Dito. Workshop. You know those tokens I was telling you about? People have shared animal ones too. There's a crow. Yep, some are animated, some are not. Quite a few, though. And it's expanding all the time. I don't like rushing maps, but we ended up covering a few support topics earlier, and as a result, and spent a lot of time in a couple of maps, and we didn't get to cover everything. Looking around the edges here. So there's squirrels and mice somewhere. Are they in the trees or something? Ah, Swifty. Oh, there are some mice there. Little guys. And there we go. There's some squirrels. Our wiki has a great amount of info on that. Let me get you a link really quick. Has a whole guide for importing assets into the into Dungeon Alchemist and the Steam Workshop. So, Denari, I appreciate your work here. Fantastic build, very lovely, simple yet scenic. I love the impactfulness of the test of time on the ruins. It's a good composition. You've got like the forest sitting here, all the old, you know, the life of the forest kind of taking over the once vibrant amphitheater. We haven't picked a theme, huh? You know what? I'm gonna pick the next theme since we didn't pick one as a group. I'm going to pick one and I'll announce it sometime over the weekend in the Damn Challenge channel. It looks like he generated a map that actually had this structure in the center. In a lot of the map options, you have crater under each biome, and crater will give you this kind of bubbled area right here, the dimple, and then you have to just kind of cater to the rest of it. Am I right there, Denari? Did you use the crater terrain and then kind of adjust it? Perfect. Yep, the crater is a great way to get like a lot of structure really quickly. You can fill a crater with, you know, some lava and some smoke, and boom, you got a volcano. Boom! Aquatic? I might consider it. You know, there was actually a suggestion recently in our Discord from, I think it was Watchtower, who left a suggestion. I'm gonna mull over it. Is vacation all you ever wanted? Display name? Vacation's all I ever wanted. Swedish Cook. This map was impressive. I really loved it. One of my favorites. Got some beautiful symmetry. The blood pit in the center. Just this looks, you know, like a place you probably don't want to be. Especially if you are like on the menu as the sacrifice. Right? Essentially taking the blood pit and centering that means that you didn't have to do a whole lot of decorating. other than making this little structure in the center, which is amazing, by the way. And how they did the lightning here. I'm trying to figure out what object they hid in there. Something small inside of that. Yep. This little guy right here, the conductor. So these are an item, if you pair a couple of them nearby, they'll spark electricity to each other. So if you have two of them, you know, see how they're arcing to each other. So he hid one right there. Oh man, I ruined it. Didn't seem to turn back on. But something like that. They just essentially hid that in the snake's mouth in the centerpiece where they wanted it. Pretty close there. You get the idea. Yeah, when they unlink from each other, they break easily. I messed this up pretty bad. There we go. I haven't announced the next theme, and we didn't pick one as a group this time because time got away from us. So what I've decided is I'm going to handpick the theme, and I will announce it in the Damn Challenge channel when I announce the previous winner and give them their due. So take a break for the next, you know, day or so until I put the theme in the Damn Challenge channel on Discord. Sound good? Yeah, Swedish, you really knocked it out of the park, my friend. So there's, as I said earlier, there's objects that can make electricity between them. So that's how they did the electricity bits. They just kind of hid these inside of the snake's mouth. And then there's likely one under this pedestal. And then the rest of the electricity is an effect. If you go to electric arcs under magic, you can paint them on, add more. Keep in mind, effects like this use up a lot of processing power, so they can really slow down your computer, depending on your rig. Yeah, it's a beautiful map, brother. Really enjoyed it. I like how you really just filled up the center of the blood pit, and you're like, I'm going to make this work. Fantastically powerful. No, it is not, Robert. Okay. This one was from Cartographer, and it's a sewage path. So essentially, this is just a section, you know, a cross section of the pipe where you can see into this area and enter the pipe if you want to, or escape into the cavern area below where the water seeps in and is probably really gross and fetid. Ugh. This is a perfect encounter map. We did a 10 by 10 dam challenge about a month and a half ago. About 3 or 4 dam challenges ago. And that one was interesting. So it was 10 squares by 10 squares. That was it. So it was essentially one room for the most part. Now, we've never actually said one room, but 10 by 10 is the smallest we've done by far. I would be open to maybe picking a tight focus theme like that, a single room. I'll see what I can come up with. Okay. So, simple map, powerful map. packs a punch, gives you a good sewer setting. I will point out one neat thing about these pipes that maybe people don't know. You can take the tops off of them. So if you're like, well, I can't see inside, neither can my players, what's the point? Boom! Take the tops off. And this little section here has doors that can swing open, so you could have the grates open. And the water under these can be changed, so you could put like blood or dirty water. Of course, the water next to it kind of is overriding it because it's a little bit higher up. But it's still possible to kind of really make it look gross. So these pipes, you can have them and use them as like, sewer channels or whatever, and it's perfect for top-down exports. Oh, yeah, it kind of is like the Penguin's Lair, huh? All right, moving on. As much as I would love to stay and look at Cartographer's map, and it's really cool, but we gotta go. We got 2 more maps, and I've actually got to wrap up. We're already 20 minutes past. So, Steam, I would like to point out the event said it ended at 2:15, but I'm going to keep going until we do these last 2 maps. So, our man, Sailor Yugoth here, just had to bring another amazing map to the table. I will say this, though. Unfortunately, because he won the last damn challenge, and I have made this rule some time ago, that you're able to participate in multiple damn challenges in a row if you just want to participate for fun, but you cannot win multiple damn challenges. So if you won the previous one, you can't win the next one. And I do that because I don't want people to feel like they're essentially competing against someone who may be bringing their A game for months at a time, and it feels like you are going to not be able to compete against them or something. So we did this so people don't win over and over and over again, and you have a better chance of winning. So with that in mind, I really like that we've got a Stargate over here. What's really neat about this is the little moth here with the town on its back, the space moth. Pretty impressive. And all of this is contained within a bubble, which is the, like, kind of space bubble there that was a skybox provided by Asmodeus on the workshop. I like to think that I'm a cosmic being, Dito. Kinda, yeah, there is a Cthulhu in the black hole there, right at the... Wow. Look at that event horizon right there. That has gotta be, like, several light years across. It's insane long. Alright. The last map. And then we're gonna be wrapping up the stream. I am a deity that can fix anything with duct tape. I really enjoyed the Graveyard Spire. This one was incredibly clever. I gotta read the description to y'all. Geronimo, skip it. I don't want to skip yours. Just happened to be last in the order. I wanted to save a powerful map to end with. A necromancer novice is aiming high. The remote and disguised cemetery comes in handy. It is done by hand. And I could see where a lot of his hour was spent getting that perfectly right. It's beautiful, though. Like, brilliant use of 3D assets from the workshop. The spire here, the tower, is just incredibly powerful. Nice custom build. I'm assuming you laid out the kind of the stairs first and then built the rock around it, or did you do the rock and then the stairs? It's alive! Stairs first? Yeah, that makes sense. If you lay out the foundation, then you can put all the other stuff around it and make it feel like it's like kind of a dangling piece of rock spire that just jutted from the earth and is holding together with only magic or something like that. Doesn't it look so cool? Really great here. And I love how you put the necrotic fog in the graves. Really brilliant. That one grave with the... I mean, even in top down, it still looks impressive. You get a good amount of the scale of the spire, and then you could add some good, like, immersion angled shots, right? For, like, scenic shots. Brilliant. Okay. Unfortunately, though, that's all the time I can spend on this map. I've got to wrap up. I've got an appointment I've got to be at here in a bit. So, I'm going to end this damn challenge stream, and I will be pondering a new theme. Usually we pick as a group, but unfortunately this time I made the mistake of not bringing it up sooner. So I have placed a terrible burden upon myself where I have to pick the theme. Guido, thank you for the kind words. Thank you, everyone that dropped in today from the various platforms, whether you were on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Steam, Twitter, Trovo, Kick, whatever your platform of choice is. I appreciate you being here and watching and supporting our stream. Remember, this is a multi-stream, so we're live across all those platforms simultaneously. I do my best to keep up with all the chats. There's a lot going on, and unfortunately the multi-stream feed only covers like 2/3 of the chats. So I try to look around and keep on it. So thank you everyone that was here and patient and participated today. I appreciate you all being a part of the damn challenge stream. Again, congratulations to the winner. Let's see here. That was Kai TM with this absolutely brilliant Japanese castle map. I'm gonna drop the link one more time in our chats, and then we will end the stream. There's Steam. I'll get you this link. You could check it out on the Steam Workshop if you're interested. And Twitch. Again, I appreciate you all supporting these community endeavors. We host 3 streams a week. So every Saturday there's a stream across our multiple platforms. Every other Saturday is the Damn Challenge stream, which is like today, where we have the map making contest, show the winner, show the runner-up maps, and pick a new theme. The other Saturday is called the Damn stream, which it's kind of the pairing to the opposite Saturday. One's a challenge and one is a showcase. So we showcase amazing maps and assets from the workshop, and those streams are hosted in an AMA format, which means you can pop in, ask questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, and get live support, ask about our updates, etc. Now, we also host a stream every Monday here on these varied platforms called Mapmaker Monday. Mapmaker Monday is a great way to learn how to make maps from someone who's making one in real time. So during the stream, I build a map. You can watch, ask questions, give suggestions. Good way to learn Dungeon Alchemist from someone who spent over 2,000 hours with it. Next, we also host a stream on our Discord. Not everyone is in our Discord. I highly encourage you check out our Discord server. It is kind of the coagulation of our community. It's the largest grouping of our community, save except for like Steam. And in Discord, there's over 33,000 cartographers. It is a fantastic place to share your maps, fantastic place to collaborate with other GMs and get ideas about your, stat blocks or campaign ideas. And you can get live support pretty much 24 hours a day from myself, other staff members, moderators, or community members. So if you need questions asked or have a support, you can drop in there. Make sure you check out our Discord if you haven't already. We host our office hour streams every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific till 12 p.m. And then we also host a Blender stream in there every 2 weeks called Blender Basics with Asmodeus. I think we're wrapping up on the next, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Be the last one of those, and then I'll put that video series up on our YouTube, which was like an 8-part series about, essentially taking an asset and into Blender, fine-tuning it, and bringing it over to Dungeon Alchemist, making it, changing the textures, making it animated, decimating it, making it smaller, etc. So, we have a lot of different streams, community events. Check out Discord. There's an events section which has all of them up, and it'll show the time in your time zone. Those Blender Basics tutorials are great. I've been recording them. I'm going to trim them for time and put them into like a whole playlist series on YouTube when it's all done too. So if you missed any of them, you really didn't. So that's a good thing about them. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Again, my name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making utility available on Steam. You can find us on your favorite social platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. See you, everyone. Thank you for being here.